Captain Eric Mitchell stood on the bridge of the Earth ship Intrepid. The blue light from the screens lit up his face as he looked at the star map. He had been a captain for 15 years, but today was different. His ship had just picked up a strange signal from deep space. "Captain, we've got something weird," said Lieutenant Olivia Reeves. She was working hard to keep the signal clear. "It's a distress call, but it's not from any human ship." Eric walked closer to her station. "Where is it coming from?" "From a star system in the Cygnus area, sir. We've never been there before. We're calling it HC 775 for now." Everyone on the bridge stopped talking. They listened as the ship's computer tried to translate the message. What they heard didn't sound human at all. It had clicks and strange noises with a computer-like voice trying to speak human words. "This is Admiral Zextal of the Galactic Concord. Our colony on Proxima Cygni 4 is being attacked by the Vorsian Empire. We need help right away. They have broken through our defenses. We can't hold them off much longer." Officer Alan Wexler looked at Eric with wide eyes. "Galactic Concord? Vorsians? I've never heard of these groups before." "There's more, sir," Olivia said. "This message isn't new. It was sent about 3 months ago." Eric frowned. 3 months was a long time. The colony might already be destroyed. "Set a course for HC 775, full speed, and get Admiral West on the line. She needs to know about this." As the Intrepid changed direction, Eric felt a strange feeling in his stomach. Humans were about to step onto a much bigger stage than they had ever known. The universe just got a lot more complicated. Admiral Cassandra West's face appeared on the main screen minutes later. She didn't look happy. "This better be good, Mitchell. I'm dealing with enough problems on Mars already." "Ma'am, we picked up an alien distress call. We've checked it. It's real." The Admiral's face changed from annoyed to shocked. "You mean first contact with aliens?" "More like 5th or 6th contact, ma'am. These aliens already know each other. We're just new to their neighborhood." After a long pause, West spoke slowly, like she was feeling the weight of history. "Captain, do you understand what this means? If we answer this call, we show ourselves to everyone out there, both the ones asking for help and the ones attacking them. With respect, Admiral, they sent an SOS. On Earth, we always answer those calls." West nodded. "Okay, you can go check it out, but be very careful. This could be a trap or something we don't understand. I'll send the 7th Fleet to follow you, but they'll stay back. You'll have backup within 2 days if you need it." "Thank you, Admiral. And Mitchell, remember, you're not just a ship captain now. From this moment, you're humanity's first space diplomat. Don't mess it up." When the call ended, Eric turned to his crew. "Battle stations. Keep weapons ready, but don't shoot first. We're going in quietly and smartly." The Intrepid sped up to faster-than-light travel. Its new Shaw Fujikawa engine cut through space like nothing humans had built before. Eric didn't know what they would find at HC 775, but he knew one thing: humanity would face it bravely. As the ship rushed through the darkness between stars, Eric called his top officers to the meeting room. They needed a plan for what might be waiting for them. "Listen up," he said as they gathered around the table. "We don't know what we're flying into. Could be a rescue mission, could be a war zone, could be nothing left at all." Chief Engineer Ben Howard spoke up. "Can we trust this message, sir? What if it's some kind of bait to lure ships like ours?" Eric nodded. "Good question. That's why we're not going in blind. Olivia, what have you learned from studying the message?" Lieutenant Reeves pulled up a holographic display. "The language, patterns are complex but consistent. If it's fake, it's a very good fake. And the distress pattern matches universal protocols. SOS signals are similar across many cultures. They're designed to be recognized even by those who don't share your language." "What about the players in this drama?" Eric asked. "Any intel on these Vorsians or the Galactic Concord?" "Science." Officer Diane Freeman cleared her throat. "Nothing concrete, sir. But based on the translation, the Concord sounds like some sort of alliance or federation of species. The Vorsians seem to be expansionist, possibly imperial in nature. So we might be walking into an interstellar war," Eric said, thinking out loud. "A war we know nothing about between powers we've never met." Security Chief Paul Delgado tapped the table nervously. Captain, with all due respect, we should consider waiting for the 7th Fleet. One ship against unknown forces. I understand your concern, Paul, Eric replied. But every minute matters in a rescue operation. By the time the fleet arrives, it might be too late for any survivors, if there are any left. The room fell silent as the officers considered the risks. We'll take precautions, Eric continued. Full sensor sweeps before we drop out of FTL. We'll position ourselves at the edge of the system to assess before moving in. Combat teams on standby, but diplomatic protocols in effect. He stood up and looked at each officer in turn. This is what the Intrepid was built for. This is what we trained for. Humanity has dreamed of reaching the stars for centuries. Now, we're here, and we've discovered we're not alone. How we respond to this call for help might define how we're seen by other species for generations to come. The officers nodded in agreement. Dismissed. Report to your stations and prepare your departments. We reach HC 775 in 20 hours. As they filed out, Eric stayed behind, staring at the star map. Somewhere in that cluster of light was a civilization in danger. He didn't know if they would be grateful for human help or fear them as another threat. He didn't know if humans would find friends or make new enemies, but he knew his duty. When someone calls for help, you answer, even if that call comes from across the stars. The Intrepid came out of light speed at the edge of the HC 775 system. Right away, the ship's sensors began scanning the area, looking for signs of battle or survivors. What they found was worse than they had expected. "Oh no," said Commander Samantha Garza as she looked at the main screen. A huge space station hung crookedly in orbit around the 4th planet. Broken pieces of ships were scattered all over the system. Small ships that looked like escape pods floated lifelessly in space. "Are there any survivors?" Eric asked, his voice tight. "A few, sir," replied Dr. Ryan Cooper. "Maybe 200 living beings on that station based on what we're picking up." Eric made up his mind quickly. "Get the boarding teams ready. Everyone wears full protection suits until we know if their air is safe for us. Weapons are for defense. Only." Within an hour, 3 small ships left the Intrepid and carefully approached the damaged station. Eric led the main team. His heart beat faster as they connected to the alien structure. The doors opened, showing hallways that were built for beings taller and thinner than humans. Purple emergency lights lit up everything. "Stay close together," Eric ordered as they moved deeper into the station. Cameras on their helmets sent everything they saw back to the Intrepid. They found the survivors gathered in what looked like a control room. There were about 60 aliens who looked like walking frogs with shiny blue and green skin. Their big, many-sided eyes grew wider when they saw the humans in their protective suits. One alien stepped forward. It moved carefully, even though it was clearly hurt. It wore what Eric thought must be a uniform with symbols that might show its rank. "I am Sector Commander Nix Vala," the alien said through some kind of translator. "You answered our call for help?" Eric took off his helmet, taking a risk after his sensors showed the air was safe to breathe. "Captain Eric Mitchell of the Earth Defense Force ship Intrepid, we got your message and came to help." The alien's eyes blinked in a wave-like pattern. "Earth? We have no record of your world in our database." "We are new to space travel," Eric explained. "This is our first time meeting other intelligent beings." The aliens all started talking among themselves. Nixavala seemed to sway a little, and, "Yet you came with weapons to help strangers just because of a distress call." The alien's translator couldn't show emotion well, but the tone suggested disbelief. "It's what we do," Samantha said simply. Nixavala stared at them for a long moment. "The Vorsian battle fleet will come back. They want something on our planet below. They attacked without warning or reason." "How many ships do they have?" Alan asked. 12 big ships, maybe 30 smaller ones. They left after damaging our defenses, but our long-range sensors show they are gathering for a final attack. Eric turned on his radio. "Intrepid, what's the status on the 7th Fleet?" "Still 26 hours away, Captain," came the answer. Nix Vala's body language changed. "Your fleet? How many ships?" 8 big ships, 16 smaller vessels, all with advanced weapons, Eric answered honestly. The alien commander seemed to lose hope. It will not be enough. The Vorsians are very efficient. They have conquered 17 star systems in the past year. No one has ever beaten them. Eric looked at his team before responding. With respect, Commander, they haven't faced humans before. What makes your species different from the 11 others that have failed? Eric gave a grim smile. We evolved on what you might call a death world. Constant dangers, natural disasters, disease, and war shaped us. We're new to the stars, but we've been preparing for this moment our whole existence. He pointed to the survivors. We'll move your people to our ship and give them medical help. Then we'll prepare a proper welcome for these Vorsians. As they began moving the aliens to safety, Dr. Cooper came to Eric privately. Captain, these beings are badly hurt. Their bodies are completely different from ours. Do what you can, Ryan. Learn as you go. Back on the Intrepid, while the alien survivors got medical care, Eric called a strategy meeting with his top officers and Nick Zavala. Tell us everything you know about Vorsian fighting methods, weapons, and weaknesses, Eric asked. What followed was a quick lesson in space warfare. The Vorsians used energy weapons similar to Earth's experimental laser systems, but much more powerful. Their shields could take a lot of damage, and their tactics focused on using overwhelming force. There is one strange thing they do, Nick Zavala noted. They always announce their arrival with the same message: submit or die. Then they give exactly 10 minutes before they start shooting. Samantha raised an eyebrow. That's surprisingly fair of them. It is mind warfare, the alien commander explained. They enjoy watching their victims panic. Eric nodded slowly, a plan forming in his mind. 10 minutes might be just enough time. Over the next few hours, Eric and his crew worked with the aliens to prepare for the coming battle. The human engineers were amazed by some of the conquered technology, even though much of it was now damaged. Their power systems are incredible, Chief Engineer Ben Howard told Eric. Much more efficient than ours. But their weapons? Not so impressive. It's like they focused on building, not destroying. Can we use any of it? Eric asked. Ben grinned. Oh yes, sir, especially the station itself. Meanwhile, Dr. Cooper made progress with the injured aliens. Their biology is fascinating, Captain. They can breathe our air, but they need more humidity. They heal differently, too. Their blood has copper instead of iron. Are they going to make it? Eric asked, looking at the medical bay full of blue-green beings. Most of them, yes. They're tough in their own way. Nick Zavala joined Eric as he watched the medical team work. Your doctors are very skilled. Many of my people would have died without their help. We have a lot of practice fixing injuries, Eric said. Our world has many dangers. You keep mentioning this. A death world? What does this mean exactly? Eric thought about how to explain. Earth has stronger gravity than most life-bearing worlds. We have storms that can destroy entire cities, animals that can kill with a single bite, invisible germs that cause deadly diseases. And for most of our history, we fought wars against each other. And yet you survived. You thrived. We adapted. We overcame. It's what humans do best. Nick Zavala was quiet for a moment. The Vorsians believe they are the strongest force in this part of the galaxy. They have never met a species that could truly challenge them. Then they're in for a surprise, Eric said. The ship's alarm suddenly blared. Greg's voice came over the comms. Captain, to the bridge. Long-range sensors have detected multiple ships entering the system. Eric and Nick Zavala hurried to the bridge. On the main screen, they could see the Vorsian fleet approaching. Their ships were dark and shaped like predatory sea creatures. All hands to battle stations, Eric ordered. It's time to show these Vorsians what happens when you pick a fight with humans. The Vorsian fleet arrived exactly as Nick Zavala had predicted, 22 hours after the Intrepid found the damaged station. Their ships were big, dark metal structures shaped like dangerous sea creatures from Earth's deepest oceans. Everyone, to battle stations, Eric ordered as the enemy ships took positions around the planet. Start Operation Hornet's Nest. The main Vorsian ship sent a message on all radio channels. Unknown ship. This system belongs to the Vorsian Empire. Submit or die. You have 10 minutes to surrender. Eric signaled to Communications Officer Peter Nash. Open a channel. When the connection was made, Eric spoke clearly and calmly. This is Captain Eric Mitchell of the Earth Defense Force. We have rescued the survivors of your earlier attack, and they are under our protection. We will not submit, we will not surrender, and you have much less than 10 minutes. He cut the connection and turned to Weapons Officer Lisa Martinez. Start the countdown. While the Vorsians had been away, the humans had been busy. Every piece of broken ship in the system had been rigged with explosives from the Intrepid's weapon stores. The damaged Concord station itself had been turned into a giant trap. They're sending out fighter ships, reported Sensor Officer Greg Phillips. 32 small craft coming our way. Let them come, Eric said. Hold position until they cross through the debris field. The Vorsian fighters sped toward the Intrepid, sleek and deadly. As they moved through the floating wreckage, Lisa's finger hovered over the trigger button. Now, Eric commanded. The debris field exploded in a carefully planned series of blasts, catching 27 of the fighters in the explosion wave. The remaining 5 broke apart in confusion. Phase 2, Eric ordered. The Intrepid suddenly turned off all non-essential systems, appearing broken down. The remaining Vorsian fighters circled cautiously, reporting back to their larger ships. They're taking the bait, Greg confirmed. 2 big ships are moving to capture us. As the massive enemy vessels came closer, Eric gave his next order. Turn on the station's engines. The damaged Concord station, which the Vorsians had ignored as dead, suddenly came to life. All its remaining power had been redirected to its engines for a one-way trip. The station accelerated straight toward the lead Vorsian vessel. Impact in 3, 2, 1. The crash was spectacular. The station's power cores exploded on impact, tearing through the Vorsian ship's shields and ripping its hull apart. The second big ship was caught in the explosion, its systems temporarily disabled. Power up! All weapons hot! Eric shouted. Target their engines and weapons. The Intrepid roared back to life, its advanced targeting systems finding weak points on the stunned Vorsian vessels. Railguns fired special uranium rounds at incredible speeds, punching through shields weakened by the explosion. Sir, the remaining Vorsian ships are grouping up for a coordinated attack, Greg warned. Eric had expected this. Release the mines. While rescuing the survivors, the Intrepid had placed hidden mines along the approach paths, technology the Vorsians had never seen before. As their fleet moved to surround the human vessel, proximity explosions disrupted their formation. Captain, we've damaged 4 more of their ships, but we're outnumbered, Lisa reported. Our shields are at 60% and dropping. Eric knew they couldn't win this fight alone. Begin falling back. Keep them following us. For hours, the Intrepid fought while retreating, using the system's asteroid belt and planet orbits to their advantage. The ship took damage, but they hurt their pursuers badly too. Sir, long-range sensors are picking up FTL signatures, Greg suddenly announced. Multiple contacts. Eric allowed himself a small smile. Right on schedule. The 7th Fleet dropped, out of FTL in perfect attack formation, led by the massive ship Determination. Admiral West's voice came through the comms. Looks like you started the party without us, Mitchell. Just warming them up for you, Admiral. The Vorsians found themselves caught between the Intrepid and the newly arrived human fleet. For the first time, they hesitated. Open fleet-wide channel, Admiral West commanded. Attention, Vorsian forces. This is Admiral Cassandra West of the Earth Defense Force. You have attacked a species under our protection. Surrender your ships or be destroyed. The Vorsian response came quickly. A barrage of energy weapons directed at the Determination. The human fleet responded in kind, unleashing their full arsenal. What followed was the most one-sided battle in recent galactic history. The human vessels, designed to fight other humans, the most dangerous opponents Earth had ever known, proved devastating against the Vorsians. Tactics developed over thousands of years of warfare gave the humans an edge that technology alone couldn't match. On the bridge of the Intrepid, Eric watched as the human fleet executed complex maneuvers that confused and split the Vorsian formation. They don't understand what they're facing, Samantha observed. They've never had to fight an enemy that thinks like we do. Nixvala, who had insisted on staying on the bridge, watched in amazement. Your tactics, they are unpredictable. The Vortians rely on their superior technology and overwhelming force. They have no answer for this. The battle raged for 2 hours. Earthships took damage, but their crews kept fighting even when systems failed. Engineers made repairs during the battle. Damaged ships changed tactics instead of retreating. The Mako's main guns are offline, but Captain Rodriguez is using her ship as a shield for the Barracuda, reported Communications Officer Peter Nash. And the Hammerhead has lost engines but is still firing with everything they've got. Nixvala seemed puzzled. Why don't they retreat? They could still escape. That's not what we do, Eric explained. We don't leave our people behind. Every ship covers the others. The alien commander watched silently, understanding dawning on his face. You fight like a single organism. Within 2 hours, the remaining Vorsian ships tried to escape. Only 3 managed to jump to FTL. On the damaged but victorious Intrepid, Nixvala approached Eric on the bridge. Your species, the alien said, slowly. You are unlike any we have met in the Concord's history. Eric looked at the tactical display showing the defeated Vorsian fleet. For better or worse, Commander, humanity has arrived on the galactic stage. Admiral West's face appeared on the view screen. Good work, Mitchell. Initial reports indicate we've crippled their offensive capabilities, but those 3 ships that escaped will carry word back to their homeworld. This isn't over. What's our next move, Admiral? Eric asked. The President and Joint Chiefs are in agreement. We're taking the fight to them. The best defense is a strong offense, and we can't give them time to prepare for round 2. The 7th Fleet will pursue the Vorsian forces back to their territory. I want the Intrepid to remain here and coordinate with the conquered survivors. This system needs protection while we deal with the larger threat. Eric nodded. Understood, Admiral. After the communication ended, Nixvala turned to Eric. Your leaders intend to attack the Vorsian homeworlds. No species has ever dared such a thing. If we don't, they'll come back stronger, Eric explained. The best way to end a war quickly is to bring it to the enemy's doorstep. Covers a Deathworlder philosophy, the alien observed. Just human common sense, Eric replied. We'll help your people rebuild here while our fleet ensures the Vortians won't threaten you again. As repair crews began work on the Intrepid's battle, Eric knew that everything had changed. Humanity had made its first allies among the stars, and its first enemies. The path ahead would be challenging, but Earth was ready. They had been preparing for this moment their entire existence. 1 month after the Battle of HC 775, Eric stood in his formal uniform aboard the ship Determination. Leaders from 12 different species of the Galactic Concord gathered in the ship's meeting hall. The room had been specially changed to fit the needs of the various aliens with their different breathing requirements and gravity needs. Admiral West spoke to the gathering, her voice serious and proud. On behalf of humanity, I thank you for this chance to create formal relations with the Galactic Concord. The chief delegate, a crystal-like being named Zolak, whose see-through body glowed with inner light, responded, It is we who must thank you. For many years, the Vorsian Empire has grown without anyone stopping them. No single species could stand against them. Yet in your first space battle, you not only defeated their attack force but chased their fleet back to their own territory. This was true. After the first victory, Admiral West had made the bold decision to take the fight to the Vorsians, pushing deep into their space and forcing their leaders to ask for peace. The reports from our observers are hard to believe, continued Zolak. Your battle skills, your soldiers' ability to keep fighting despite injuries, your ships working even with damage levels our vessels would consider fatal. How is this possible? Commander Kevin Bradley, head of Earth's diplomatic team, who had been rushed to the scene, stepped forward. With respect, Chief Delegate, humanity evolved on what we now understand is called a Class 12 death world in your category system. A murmur ran through the gathered aliens. Impossible, declared a reptile-like delegate. No thinking species could evolve on a Class 12 world. The environmental pressures would prevent technological development. Dr. Sofia Martinez, the fleet's chief alien biologist, turned on a holographic display showing Earth. Our world has extreme temperature changes, powerful storms, earthquakes, volcanoes, thousands of poisonous species, tiny germs that constantly evolve to overcome our defenses, and gravity 1.4 times the conquered standard, she continued, showing historical footage of Earth's many wars. And beyond these natural challenges, we have spent much of our history fighting each other. Every weapon, every tactic, every technology has been improved through conflict. The delegates shifted uncomfortably. Admiral West picked up the thread. We didn't come to the stars looking for wars to fight, but we will defend ourselves and those under our protection. Nix Vala, now appointed as the link between humanity and the conquered, spoke. I have seen their nature firsthand. They are predators, yes, but they are also healers. Our medical teams are still studying how they saved many of our wounded that we had given up for dead. Eric stepped forward when Admiral West nodded to him. The Vorsians have agreed to leave the conquered territories and establish a neutral zone. Their expansion has been stopped, at least for now. And what does Earth want in return for this service? Asked a suspicious bird-like delegate. Kevin smiled politely. Knowledge, technology, cultural exchange, peace when possible. And if peace is not possible, challenge the reptile-like alien. Eric met the alien's gaze steadily. Then they will face the Deathworlders. The meeting continued for hours as the foundation for humanity's entrance into the galactic community was built. Trade agreements were proposed. Cultural representatives were assigned. Military cooperation was cautiously discussed. Later, as Eric looked out at the stars from the observation deck, Nixisvala joined him. Your people have changed everything, the alien said quietly. The power balance that has existed for thousands of years was changed in a single day. Eric shook his head. We never wanted to be conquerors or saviors, we just wanted to explore. Yet you may be both, whether you like it or not. Nixivala's many-faceted eyes reflected the starlight. Many species fear you now. Others seek your alliance. Some talk of a Pax Humana spreading across the galaxy. And what do you think? Eric asked. The alien was silent for a long moment. I think the universe is lucky that the first Deathworlders to reach the stars value compassion alongside strength. You could have let us die. You could have conquered the Vorsians rather than offering peace. You could demand tribute rather than trade. That's not who we are. Perhaps not today, but power changes all species. Will humanity remember its better nature when the entire galaxy lies within its reach? Eric had no answer for that. Instead, he said, we have a saying on Earth, with great power comes great responsibility. Wise words. I hope your kind remembers them in the years to come. As the determination prepared to return to Earth with the diplomatic delegation, Eric received new orders. The Intrepid, now repaired and upgraded with conquered technology, would lead an exploration mission deeper into the galaxy, humanity's first diplomatic and scientific expedition beyond known space. Captain, Samantha said, handing him a datapad. The crew list for your approval. Eric noted with satisfaction that several Concord species had volunteered to join the mission, including a young scientist related to Nixivala. Set course for the Sagittarius Arm, he ordered as he took his place in the command chair. Let's see what's out there. As the Intrepid accelerated to FTL, carrying representatives of 13 species into the unknown, the message of humanity's arrival continued to spread across the galaxy. The Deathworlders had come from Earth, and the stars would never be the same again. Back on Earth, changes were already happening. The arrival of alien technology sparked new advances in medicine, energy production, and environmental restoration. Schools began teaching about the wider galaxy and the many species that inhabited it. Defense forces expanded their training to include tactics against various alien technologies. President Omar Lee addressed the United Nations General Assembly. We stand at a crossroads in human history. For centuries, we have looked up at the stars and wondered if we were alone. Now we know the answer. We are not alone, but we are unique. Our strength, born from our harsh world, gives us power. But power without wisdom is dangerous. We must move forward not as conquerors, but as partners, not as rulers, but as protectors. The speech was broadcast to every corner of Earth and transmitted to the growing number of human outposts and ships exploring the galaxy. 6 months after first contact, the first Concord embassy opened in Geneva. Alien diplomats walked among humans, sharing knowledge and building bridges between worlds. Eric's reports from the frontier painted a picture of a galaxy both wondrous and dangerous. New allies were made, ancient mysteries were discovered, and always the shadow of the Vorsians loomed in the background, nursing their wounds and their pride. Admiral West, now promoted to Fleet Admiral and head of the newly formed Interstellar Defense Command, kept a watchful eye on the borders. They'll be back, she told the Defense Council. Maybe not this year or the next, but they'll be back, and we'll be ready. On a distant world at the edge of known space, a young ensign named Maria Diaz stood beside Eric as they made contact with yet another new species. These aliens were peaceful farmers who had never ventured beyond their own moon. Will they join the conquered? Maria asked as they walked back to their shuttle. Perhaps, Eric replied. Or perhaps they'll remain independent. That's their choice to make. And if the Vorsians come here? Eric looked back at the simple dwellings of the aliens, their curious faces watching as the strange visitors prepared to leave. Then we'll answer their call just like we did at HC 775. As their shuttle lifted off, carrying news of another world to add to the growing map of the galaxy, Eric thought about Nixavala's question. Would humanity remember its better nature? Or would the power they now wielded change them? Only time would tell. But for now, the Deathworlders would continue to explore the stars, extending a hand of friendship to those who would take it, and a shield of protection to those who needed it. The adventure had only just begun. The end